For your interest, but there's no comment at this time. Thank you.
Could you summarize the charges against your client, please, for us?
Like I said, there's no comment at this time.
That was Harrelson's attorney, Ken Barlow, and a woman who declined to identify herself leaving the federal courthouse this afternoon. Both of them declined to speak with us about the charges against Harrelson. Harrelson is now the 22nd person from Florida and the 5th person from Central Florida to be indicted in the Capitol riots, including Joseph Biggs, a self-professed member of the Proud Boys from Ormond Beach, Andrew Williams, a Sanford firefighter who was the first local suspect arrested less than a week after the riot, and in early February, Stephen Omar Maldonado of Palm Bay in Brevard County. Also another one, Howard Burton Adams, was arrested bail, so he is out on bond, and his trial proceeding, along with all of the others after their preliminary hearings here, will be held in Washington, D.C. We'll have much more coming up tonight on WESH 2 News at 6. But we're live in downtown Orlando. Greg Fox, WESH 2 News.
Greg, thanks. More breaking news at 5. Marion County deputies need your help identifying a suspect in a murder. On February 28th, deputies found Melissa Neese dead inside a home on Guava Pass Drive. Deputies say she was shot, and this is the person they want to find. The 29-year-old Neese lived with her children, stepchild, and father of her children. They were in Tennessee on vacation, but Neese stayed behind because she had to work. Neese's sister says a friend found her with fatal injuries in her home. Call the Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen if you know anything about this case.
Also breaking right now, an off-duty officer from Daytona Beach Police has been arrested in a stabbing that happened last night. New Smyrna Beach Police tell us that 50-year-old Shane Jackson apparently got in a fight with someone outside of Flagler Tavern on Flagler Avenue. During the confrontation, officers say Jackson stabbed the other person in the stomach. Jackson faces charges for attempted murder. The other person is at Halifax Hospital in critical condition.
Now to our coronavirus coverage. Today marks 1 year since the coronavirus pandemic was declared by the World Health Organization.
Yeah, many people left their offices before that happened and some after, but it's been a year since coronavirus changed life as we know it, and social distancing entered our lexicon. More than 529,000 people have since died. That's more than the number of Americans killed in World Wars I and II combined. But on this day, some positive signs of progression. President Joe Biden signed the $1.9 trillion virus relief bill this afternoon, a day earlier than first planned. He will also address the nation tonight in his first primetime address as president. Governor
Ron DeSantis says that most Floridians could be eligible for a coronavirus vaccine by next month. Daily case and death averages across the U.S. are the lowest they have been since last fall.
Meanwhile, as infections level off, worry kind of shifts to COVID variants that can be more contagious and deadlier than earlier versions of the virus.
As Central Florida prepares to welcome spring break crowds, WESH 2's Paul Rivera spoke to virus experts about the new mutation they say is now dominant in Florida.
The B.1.1.7 variant is now the dominant variant in Florida.
At least 689 cases of the contagious and deadly mutation many know as the UK variant have been listed by the CDC in Florida, and there are more than 3,000 cases across the country.
We call it the UK variant, but it's not in the UK anymore, right? It's everywhere.
The vaccines tell the story about how to stop it, but the numbers show only 3.7 million people vaccinated in Florida. USF virologist Michael Tang says it's not enough.
We're 21 million people in Florida, so that's like 15% of our population.
Not only that, but Department of Health numbers continue to show minority communities are falling behind. Puerto Rican-born doctor Gamaliel Mestre, who works in Orlando, says education is one of the main factors. He's been working to debunk certain concerns.
They're very scared. So my job is to educate the population, show them the proof. There's a lot of people who come to the United States, for a better life, and they come from other countries where medicine is not the best.
Part of several hurdles to overcome as cases continue to spread. And with spring break essentially here, Tang warning the variants could make the ever-changing virus spread more when compared to last year.
Last year's spring break was with the original virus, which is less transmissible than the Italian version, right? The D614G that came up in June, which is less transmissible than the current variant that we have. It is much more transmissible than that original one that came last year in March.
Paul Rivera, WESH 2 News.
Florida has recorded 2 other COVID mutations, but the CDC says those infection rates are low. Moderna is testing out its potential vaccine boosters for protection from emerging virus strains. The Moderna vaccine has been shown to provide protection against mutations, but the antibody response against the South African strain. Moderna says it is in phase 2 of a new study.
If the vaccine rollout in the state stays on track, eligibility could continue to expand, according to the governor.
Once we do the 55 and up, we probably would be able to really open it up more broadly if the supply continues on the way we're doing. And I think these pharmacies are really going to play the dominant role in getting the shots into the arms.
Today, Governor Ron DeSantis said most Florida residents could be eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. He said the age requirement would drop to 60 starting Monday, followed by people over 55, then the general public. When it comes to options for where to get the vaccine, eligible Orange County residents now have yet another option.
A new vaccination site opened this morning in Orlando. WESH 2's Megan Mulatto has details on when and where you can get your shot.
The new site is in the gymnasium at Barnett Park. It's a FEMA-run walk-up site, so no appointments are necessary. Those interested in getting vaccinated here will be guided to a parking area, then will line up around the building.
I got here at 7:30 and had a little bit of difficulty getting directions in, but once I got in, it went smooth.
Hilda Reyes and dozens of others got to the park early in hopes of being at the front of the line for their COVID-19 vaccine.
We got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and drove here.
Is the first one to arrive around 4:45.
Actually, I thought maybe there would be a lot more people here by this time. I've heard of people getting in line at 2 o'clock, and I figured if I got here at 4 or 5, I'll get someplace in the top 500 of doses.
The site at Barnett Park will be open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 9 to 5 or until the supply, which is 500 Pfizer shots, lasts. Then FEMA will open up another pop-up site at the South Econ Park Gym for the following 4 days. In Orlando, Megan Mulatto, WESH 2 News.
People getting their vaccines at pop-up sites will automatically be scheduled for their second shot at the same location as their first dose. WESH 2 has a new tool for you to use with your phone. This QR code will take you directly to the vaccine page at WESH.com. Scanning this code provides you with information on how to get a vaccine appointment in every Central Florida county and how to find a site that is closest to you.
Some top health experts are putting a timeline now on when the United States might reach herd immunity. WESH 2's Meredith McDonough joins us with more on that timeline and how we achieve it. Mayor?
Summer, the vaccination effort in the U.S. is driving this timeline. As more people are vaccinated, it reduces the risk of spreading the virus. And the nation could reach herd immunity by this summer through vaccination alone.
If you look at the planned rollout of the vaccines, that we would hopefully get to that point somewhere by the end of the summer and the early fall.
According to the latest numbers, we still have a few ways to go. Now, herd immunity thresholds for COVID-19 are only estimates at this point, but experts generally agree that somewhere between 70% and 85% of the population must be protected to suppress the spread. Now, getting there before next winter will be key.
If we can get to 80% population immunity by the end of the summer, then we won't see a surge next winter, because this is basically a winter respiratory virus, and it'll be back unless we have a significant percentage of the population vaccinated.
But experts say it all hinges on Americans getting their COVID-19 vaccinations.
If a significant number of people do not get vaccinated, then that would delay where we would get to that endpoint.
At the current pace of about 2 million doses per day, including 100 million doses of the single-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and 85% by mid-September. Summer, back to you.
All right, Mayor, thank you. President Joe Biden is slated to deliver his first primetime address as president tonight. Mr. Biden will honor the sacrifices made by Americans over the last year, but will also encourage them to remain vigilant despite growing impatience to resume normal activities, giving the tantalizing promise of vaccines. Now, Biden will also mourn the dead, but project optimism about the future. You can watch the president's address tonight at 8 o'clock right here on WESH 2 News.
Governor Ron DeSantis is telling Orange County and other local governments they cannot collect fines for COVID safety violations. Strike teams have been going into businesses responding to complaints since Orange County's mayor signed an order in early December threatening fines of up to $15,000. So far, 28 business owners have been fined $300 each for not following and enforcing the county's mandatory mask ordinance and for social distancing. 156 others have gotten warnings. Governor DeSantis signed an executive order that includes a suspension of COVID-19 related individual fines and penalties.
Most of those restrictions have not been effective. That's just the reality. The evidence is in on that. And so we want to really go forward fresh, and we want people to make decisions, but we don't want it under the heavy hand of government.
That means Orange County the fines. It's not clear if business owners that already paid fines will get their money back. 1 year since a worldwide pandemic was declared, America is still facing a jobs crisis. The Labor Department reported that a total of 1.2 million people applied for first-time benefits last week. That includes the 712,000 Americans who filed first-time jobless claims and the 478,000 filing for benefits under the Pandemic Unemployment program. Many of us will soon be getting a stimulus check now that the president has signed his coronavirus relief bill. If you want to know how much you'll get, we have a tool that can calculate that for you. Just head to WESH.com. Vaccine eligibility is expanding across Florida, and more shots are becoming available.
Vaccines are coming to more Walgreens stores in Florida. I'm Marlene Martinez. We'll tell you where coming up.
Hi, I'm Jeff Rawson. Coming up on friends and family to going grocery shopping, just living your life, driving in your car. We're going to show you the at-home experiment. You just pour this stuff on. We'll show you how to get it. Have a black light, and you can actually see how germs are spreading in your house. Rawson reports next.
Also next at 5, a local attorney who works to keep people out of prison is now behind bars herself, accused of murder. We are getting the details of the crime next at 5. Tony?
And we continue to take a look along the coast and going to examine why these rip currents will remain with us not only Friday but on into the upcoming weekend. You're watching WESH 2 News at 5.
Accuracy, trust. You have to have one to earn the other.
Here at WESH 2 First Alert Weather,
our team is committed to getting your forecast right.
Whether you're working outside, waiting for a bus, or just enjoying the day,
we're always thinking about the weather.
Always thinking about how it affects you.
You.
Eric Verse, Alex Alisi, Kellyanne Klass, and Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi. WESH 2 First Alert Weather.
Safely shop floor and decor your way. Comfortably explore our incredible selection with safe in-store guidance, or order online and pick up your products curbside. Come discover the perfect floor at the perfect price, however is perfect for you. Explore floor and decor in-store or online.
Why am I so calm right now? Because this isn't a spy thriller. This is a Nissan sales event ad. Right on cue. This Rogue has more standard safety technologies than that RAV4. It's almost too easy.
Hurry in for a low $229 per month lease on the 2021 Rogue.
Tick-tock, time's running out.
Great day on the lake.
It is. Lunch is cooking.
And I saved a bunch of money on my boat insurance with Geico.
Are you?
Fellas, can it get any better than this? Whoa.
So did mine.
It only gets better when you switch and save with Geico.
You can depend on Florida farmers. We are your neighbors. Our farm is where we live and work. It's where we raise our families and provide for yours. When you see our logo in the store, you know that our name is on it because we stand behind it. When you shop for Florida-grown fruits and vegetables, look for local. Choose fresh from Florida.
$50,000 for an injury claim, it might sound good, but what if another firm would have recovered $500,000? Many people get ripped off by the insurance company and their own lawyer. We fight to get you every single dollar. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Here's today's live view from the sugary white sand of Clearwater Beach, just 90 miles west of Orlando. Plan your trip at visitstpeteclearwater.com.
A Maitland attorney has been arrested and is facing a charge of first-degree murder.
Police say it happened back in November at a local hotel. WESH 2's Amanda Dukes joins us live with more on what we've learned tonight. Amanda?
According to court documents that we were able to murder allegedly occurred at the Sheraton Orlando North Hotel in Maitland on November 3rd and involved a firearm. What we don't know tonight is who was killed.
42-year-old Maitland attorney Reagan Starr Younger has been arrested on a charge of first-degree murder. Court documents reveal she is a suspect in a homicide police say occurred at the Sheraton Orlando North Hotel back on November 3rd. Thursday morning, Reagan appeared before a judge from the Orange County Jail on murder and several drug charges.
A capias was issued for your arrest for first-degree murder and possession of meth. No bond authorized on that.
Maitland police are releasing few details about the murder at the hotel. In an email to WESH 2 News, they said 2 separate individuals have been served with arrest warrants in regard to this case. It is currently an ongoing and active investigation, so we are unable to provide any documents at this time. Younger's arrest affidavit for the drug charges reveals detectives believe the homicide may be related. Identified a suspect in the homicide as Reagan Younger. The affidavit also says when deputies went to arrest Younger at her law office on Swope Avenue in Maitland yesterday, they observed that Reagan carried a comforter. Deputies approached and searched the car. They say they found multiple items of drug paraphernalia.
Now, Reagan is being held at the Orange County Jail on no bond. Her arrest affidavit on the drug charge indicates that there was another woman with her yesterday helping her to carry those bags to her car. But at this point, there's no indication that that woman has been charged with anything. In Maitland, Amanda Dukes reporting WESH 2 News.
Deputies say a local man has been arrested in a fire that killed 2 of his relatives. The Orange County Sheriff's Office says Brian Pacheco was arrested in Puerto Rico. They say he started the fire that killed his grandmother and uncle. This was back on February 19th on Pompey Road, Florida. He faces first-degree felony murder and arson charges.
Yesterday was the busiest Wednesday at U.S. airports since the holidays. The TSA says they screened over 955,000 people across the country. The agency expects millions to fly this coming weekend after more than 5.6 million people flew within the last 5 days. They note that they are already seeing surges due to spring break travel. The CDC is still recommending Americans avoid travel, though, even if they have received a COVID-19 vaccination.
A little bit warmer, a little bit brighter, a little bit more inviting. That pretty much sums up the weather and the forecast heading forward. Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi is enjoying life on Easy Street.
Oh, my time is coming, Jimbo, as you know. Let's take a look now at Tower Cam Network out towards Cocoa and Melbourne and Brevard County. Great weather temperatures here, 73 and 75 respectively. We take a look at the satellite radar. There's that big dome of high pressure off of the mid-Atlantic there, the Carolina coast, I should say. Deep easterly flow on the bottom side of it, and that's why the rip current concerns have been elevated all week and will remain elevated even as we head into the weekend. And we continue to watch now a couple of plumes of smoke with some prescribed burns here. One here in southeastern Marion County blowing smoke back towards Waresdale and Bellevue. We had a very large plume earlier this afternoon when I came in, when the smoke was stretching all the way back towards Longwood. It is now on the wane, which is some good news. Still probably likely, though, smelling that smoke up into northern Brevard County. Winds, for the most part, 5 to about 15 miles an hour. Temperatures along the coast here running 70 to 75. And you can see where the breeze has worked in just west of I-4. Temperatures out ahead of it still running in the upper 70s. When we take a look now at Futurecast here, pretty quiet night. Nice and comfortable. Pretty benign evening if you're running some errands or you got some after-school activities. A couple of sporting events. You're going to be in good shape. 7, 9, and 11. Only falling back into the low 60s here. Good news on that front. By daybreak tomorrow morning at around 7 a.m., Ocala's at 53, Orlando's at 56, Melbourne right around the 60-degree mark. Let's take a look now at Futurecast. You can see the high just kind of meandering about there north and east of Jacksonville. It'll be another degree or two warmer. Rip current concerns will still abound up and down the eastern side of the peninsula. Let's take a look at that dog walking forecast now. 9 a.m. 66 degrees. Noontime temperature superb. 76 low humidity with a light breeze. 5 o'clock pleasant afternoon coming in at about 77. So when we take a look at a few 12-hour forecasts for Volusia County, here we go. DeLand 67 and 9, jumping up into the lower 80s there by mid-afternoon, only to fall back into the lower 60s by 7, 8, and 9 o'clock. Let's head over towards Daytona Beach, 68 to about 75, 76, and then dropping back into the lower 60s by the time we get to 7, 8, and 9. So along and east of I-95, we're in the 70s. Just west of there, we jump up into the lower 80s. Beach and boating forecast for tomorrow. Winds east 5 to 15. Water temperatures are still chilly, 64 to 67. Those rip current concerns will still be elevated. High tide is at 8:05. Low tide will be at 2:26 on into the afternoon. Bike forecast for tomorrow afternoon. Excellent. Just don't forget that sunblock as you're riding around Volusia County. Futurecast here for Saturday and Sunday. More of the same. Long period easterly swells here. Means rip current concerns will stay elevated right through the upcoming weekend. And when we take a look at the Front Yard Festival, Preacher Lawson in town Saturday night, looking pretty good here. Temps will fall back into the upper 60s. We take a look at the bike weekend forecast Saturday and Sunday, running in the upper 70s. Let's take a look at the updated 7-day forecast now. We're in the 80s and staying there through the 7-day, but there is a ray of hope for some much-needed rain. That'll come towards the end of that 7-day forecast. WESH 2 News at 5 continues here in just a moment.
Sponsored locally by Lexus. Experience amazing.
My husband was hit head-on by an irresponsible driver, and attorney Dan Newland got us $2.3 million in our pockets. That money's really going to help. Thank you, Dan.
Involved in a car accident? Call me at 407-888-8000.
If you need new eyeglasses, have no fear, because at Eyeglass World, you can get your glasses super fast. That's right. Eyeglass World has in-store labs and same-day service, which means you can zip in and zip home. And with 2 pairs for $78, you're going to be a fan of the price, too. So schedule your eye exam online today and get your glasses fast at eyeglassworld.com, the world's best way to buy glasses.
There are endless ways to see the world. But when it comes to actually getting there and experiencing every soul-changing corner of it, there's only one. The Jeep Cherokee.
During the Jeep Celebration event, get 0% financing for 84 months or $5,250 total cash allowance on select 2021 Jeep Cherokee models.
Here's to 30 years of rooms to go. Here's to the hottest styles. Amazing prices, reliability, and just having fun. Here's to 30 years of taking care of you and knowing if you need amazing furniture at an incredible price, it's all in one place, online or in store. There's never been a better time to see what's possible. It's the Rooms to Go 30th anniversary sale, celebrating 30 years young.
Become a client online or over the phone, or we will come to you. For any accident anywhere in Florida, Voganmunds.com.
It's time for instant cash savings during the Lifestyle of Orlando cash-in sale. Save $50, $100, or $200. The more you spend, the more you save. Any purchase over $250, save $50. Any purchase over $500, save $100. Any purchase over $1,000, save $200 during the cash-in sale at both Lifestyle of Orlando showrooms.
More style, more selection. That's Bears Furniture. Shop today for discounts up to $1,000 or more. The more you buy, the more you save. Shop safely in-store today. Only at Bears Furniture. Live beautifully.
We are all looking back on the past year and how our lives have changed since the coronavirus outbreak.
And there are some similarities to the impact it's had. Since that time, nearly half of Americans missed a rent or mortgage payment. According to a survey by Go Bank Rate, 46% missed one or more payments. 25% of people surveyed have missed more than one. The survey also found that 22% of Americans who lost their jobs during the last year are still unemployed. But there is some optimism in the air after the president signed the American Rescue Plan this afternoon. More positive signs on the vaccine front across the state.
The governor says more doses are coming to Florida and more locations are opening across the state, including here in Central Florida. We'll tell you where next.
Plus, many of us having been taking extra precautions during the coronavirus, but is it doing us any good? Our Jeff Rawson is finding out with his coronavirus germ tests ahead at 5:45.
And local health officials are reflecting on the pandemic in the past year, what they've learned and how they plan to move forward next on Western News at 5.
Orlando and Toyota of Claremont, it's the Ready, Set, Go sales event. Let us help you get out of your old car loan or lease and lower your monthly payment. Through this Sunday, you can drive this new 2021 Highlander L for only $229 a month. And now you can reduce your time spent at the dealership by 95% using our online shopping tools. You can customize your deal and quickly get our price and payment options. We'll even deliver the vehicle to you. You've got the green lights of savings at Toyota of Orlando, I-4 across from Millennium Mall, and Toyota of Claremont Highway 50 west of the Turnpike.
New South Window is Florida's factory direct window company. We stand behind our work on both our products and installation. One company, one call.
Save 35% off factory direct windows and doors installed.
After my car accident, Dan got me $510,000, 40 times more than what the insurance company offered me.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 407-888-8000.
Dan, your team was the best. Thank you.
Are you looking for the hottest designer furniture brands and Florida's lowest prices? Then shop the Hudson's Furniture St. Patrick's Day sale. You can save 50% off furniture and mattresses, plus up to 3 years interest-free financing or free sales tax. Only at Hudson's Furniture.
Appliance Stockade, 520 Merritt Island. Please come see us. Thank you. Refrigerators. Everything you can imagine is going to be here. Every style, every shape, every size. Dryers. We are buried in dryers. Please come buy a dryer. Washers, dishwashers, wall ovens. Appliance Stockade, 520 Merritt Island. Please come see us. Thank you. Appliance Stockade, 520 Merritt Island.
Why am I so calm right now? Because this isn't a spy thriller. This is a Nissan sales event ad. Right on cue. This Rogue has more standard safety technologies than that RAV4. It's almost too easy.
Hurry in for a low $229 per month lease on the 2021 Rogue.
Tick-tock, time's running out.
Get ready to tune in with me.
Good morning.
Every weekday morning, it's your favorite tunes.
Mornings at 7 on Central Florida's MeTV.
WESH 2 News continues.
Starting today, people can begin booking vaccine appointments at dozens more Walgreens stores across Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis says those shots will be available tomorrow.
WESH News' Marley Martinez tells us where Walgreens is expanding, and she talks with a local medical expert about why this expansion is so important.
At dozens of Walgreens stores